And we are live with Kinfolk and Nem at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern on a Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We have once again, Ed Williams building, Greg, Napro, Ish, and B Reese. Everybody doing tonight?
Chilling.
Fine and dandy.
Cannot complain. Running on a little sleep.
Yeah.
So of course, Ish, like you said, running on a little bit of sleep because he's Pape number 2 over there.
Pape number ghost.
Got a little Ezekiel. Everybody good over there? A little Ezekiel.
Yeah, he's chilling, man. Just had to change his diaper, but he's cool. He spits up all the time. He doesn't sleep in the middle of the night. That's his time to hang out and be wide awake. So yeah.
So normal baby stuff. Normal baby stuff.
You know how that goes. The normal.
And of course, first time viewers, reoccurring viewers, please share this broadcast. More folks can check out the broadcast. And also, of course, if you are on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to Kinfolk and Nem YouTube page, and also give us a like on our Kinfolk and Nem Facebook page as well. So let's start off with the hot topic. After the Rick Ross and 2 Chainz versus battle, it seemed like Joe Budden said that he wouldn't mind having a Drake versus Kanye versus battle. I don't know about you guys, but I think that might blow the internet. How about you guys?
Me personally, I'm not gonna watch it. But is it gonna blow up the internet? Probably, more than likely, yeah. It could crash the network, the whole grid. This shit gonna end the world. Don't do it.
Go, GT.
Don't do it, please.
I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I'm not gonna watch it either. I don't know why. I just don't really care for this.
What?
I thought you fully did.
Hold on, Drake, your big brother, and Yeezy, your distant cousin from Chicago. You not gonna watch this? What?
First of all, if Drake was my big brother, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll be somewhere fucking down.
Not like that, you would.
No, you're not at all.
but anyways, nah. I'm gonna echo the same shit Napro was saying. I'm really not interested in this. They had a beef, whatever, a long-standing beef where they just take jabs at each other, bro. So I don't even think this was actually going to happen. That's kind of why I don't want to watch it, because it's just too unrealistic. But yeah, I just don't want to see this at all.
Why is it unrealistic?
That's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? Why is it unrealistic?
I think it's a perfect matchup.
I think it can happen.
I don't think so.
For the culture? You tell me they wouldn't do it for the culture?
Drake will annihilate this nigga.
Whoa, hold up. Let me bring in a comment. Let me bring in a comment from J Mike. Music. He said himself, people forget about what Ye's done. And like he said, his second comment, Drake is hard, but Wayne can beat Drake.
That's only Wayne can beat Drake only if we're doing mixtapes and all that together, then, of course. But if we're doing just strictly albums and shit, Drake has better.
No, we doing songs. It's not no albums. It's not no mix. It's songs, sir. It's songs.
Different strokes for different folks. Remember that, everybody. Everybody out there.
The rules to this whole situation. So I mean,
look at me when I say this. Different strokes.
Why you telling them?
Open your eyes when you say that.
People, look at me. Don't do drugs.
I don't do drugs either, Negro. So don't worry about that. I'm on your team. I'm on your team in that regard. I don't do drugs either. I'm perfectly sober. I'm drinking those vodka, bro.
Nah, you're doing it right now.
No, we all on that government cheese. You feel me?
All right. So for right now, it seems like we have somebody that's supposed to be watching it. Greg apparently he's not going to watch it, and Napoleon not going to watch it. Period. So Ish and Brett, let's give y'all's input on this.
Brett, go ahead. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna watch it. I think that that's the perfect matchup. Drake, like there are certain matchups in versus battles that you say like, oh no, that person they're out of that person's class. But I think Ye and Drake is the perfect matchup. I think that they are in each other's class. That it'll be a really good battle. I'd like to see what top 20, and it would be cool to see what they think is their best top 20 and how they will pair it against each other. Now, whether or not the two of them will be willing to get on versus with each other, doubt it. Ye's not gonna play any of his old stuff because remember he said he don't play secular music anymore, so that's another thing. So you're not gonna see it, but I mean, I would like to see it. That'd be a really good one. I'd watch it if they were able to convince Kanye to play some of his old stuff. And he got on there. I watch it.
Brett.
I mean, I think I would tune in. I don't think I'd watch the whole thing, if I'm being honest. But I mean, I would definitely tune in to see at some point, just like I did with Snoop and DMX. I mean, I think I'd actually tune in just to watch it a little bit. Now, would I like? Do I care who wins? No, that doesn't bother me because I like both. So, I like Kanye's new stuff just as much as I like his old stuff. And Drake's been consistent. So, I mean, do I care who wins? No, but would I watch it though? Yes, for a little bit.
All right, we have a couple of people watching, of course, the show. My boy Randy Daniels out in Iowa, Kansas City Chiefs fan. He says Eminem can take either one of them down. Just saying they're battling for second place at best. Well, hey, J. Mike again. He says about Eminem. He says he is the best lyricist of all time, but his songs are my bad, not track. They are trash.
Yes.
And he also says Ye can beat 90% of producers in a verses.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not about who's the best lyricist. It's about the songs.
The songs, yes.
Yeah.
Eminem, I'm sorry, he does not have the songs.
He don't have no.
No.
He got Lose Yourself, and that's about a couple of them hoes. My band and shit. D12.
Real with you, that first Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah. Anything Eminem came out with,
and that Superman Monday through Sunday, Sunday do Sunday. That shit was.
I thought we was. Oh, my bad.
Hey, real shit. Anything Eminem came out with past 2010, that shit is garbage. Basura.
Shit before that, probably.
No, past 2010.
I will say though that M can go bar for bar with anybody. But
I mean, he's a battle rapper, so yeah. It's
what I'm saying though, in a versus song for song, that's. I mean, I don't think that's even a contest. I don't think he would.
Now let's all remind everybody how old our age is. Now remember when Drake first started, that was when we were in high school. That was his Wheelchair Jimmy era when he was on Degrassi and whatnot. So when Drake was just beginning, Kanye was kind of was all. Remember, he was still ascending. He didn't even hit his peak yet, and the amount of songs and amount of things that Kanye has been able to touch musically, to me, it looks like Kanye has kind of passed the torch over to Drake. I'm not saying producer-wise, just mainly being able to touch different genres of music. I think we can definitely see a great battle amongst them too. But to see both of them, how far they've come from when we've been in high school to where we are now, I mean, it's pretty amazing on both those guys.
That I would agree with, for the most part. I mean, I've seen both of them go kind of upwards, and from when Drake started, I will say that I mean he's been a whole bunch of different types of genres and different songs and stuff like that. So I think, I mean, I don't know. I still have. Hold on, time out. Overall, would you guys have Kanye or Drake? Just put it out there.
That's a good question. Yeah, I got Kanye.
Drake.
I mean, I think I have Kanye.
I don't think we're related, bro.
Is Kanye playing just Kanye stuff?
This is Kanye the artist.
So hold on. I'm saying, is Kanye playing just Kanye stuff like his own songs, or is he also playing stuff he produced? And also, do we factor in songs that they're featured on?
Because 2 Chainz word, he was playing songs that he was featured in. It wasn't his actual song. So I mean that does matter as well. I mean Kanye got features too.
I know, but I'm
Kanye,
saying that just makes it even harder.
But I was gonna say Drake got featured. Drake been on some stuff too. It's just it's hard. You know, I agree, it's hard. But for me, I'm gonna have to go with Kanye.
For me, I'm gonna say the draw.
No,
I'm gonna say it depend on the lineup because I'd like to see how they pair.
How about we run a seven game series then? How about that? We can't just have one 7-game series. Lay out your top 10 songs per game, and we run it like that, and then we see it the next day, and then we see it the next day, and then we do it like that. I think that's the best way we're gonna go about it. Monday we're running on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hey, run it like that, right? Hey, also shout out to Derek Douglas. He said, "Man, Drake gonna have Kanye stressed when he plays sicko mode." How y'all feel about that? Is that true?
I agree.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of sick of the damn song living in Houston.
Wow.
I'm just saying. They play the song too damn much. All right, so if everybody that's watching in, who would you like to see in a versus matchup? And also, of course, my guys.
I know I seen something on Twitter. I don't know if it's a real thing or not, but I think it's like a hypothetical thing. But Usher versus Chris Brown would be dope to see. That would be dope.
I've seen that. Yes, that would be good.
Usher versus Chris Brown. For all the people out there, don't steal this idea, my nigga. Usher versus Chris Brown. Even though I seen it on Twitter, but
I must say, how is it it's not even your idea.
I got to document on the podcast first, though.
He gonna try to claim it. How you gonna try to claim something you already admitted to seeing somewhere?
That's what Christopher Columbus did. Why can't I do it?
Sure.
It's not a history show either.
I'll go ahead and be cliche, and I'll say probably one that I'd like to see is J. Cole and Kendrick. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Let's get it out of the way.
I mean,
talk about who's who. Let's see it.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. I got one. I got two actually. I got new school and I got old school.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, y'all know how I am. Big Crit. I want to see Big Crit and J. Cole. I think Big Crit could be J. Cole.
I think so too.
I'm just saying. But the old school, because I saw it on Facebook. Shout out to Greg, because he's seeing things on Twitter. I saw this on Facebook.
Shout out to Greg.
What about Ronald Isley and Charlie Wilson, Uncle Charlie?
That's fine.
That'd be a good one. Oh yeah.
That's fire.
I'm just saying. And Mariah Graham, she also said CB has already declined. I agree, especially coming out with that 100 track CD that took about a week and a half to finish.
I still haven't finished it. I ain't gonna hold you. I still haven't finished it.
100 tracks.
100 tracks on one album.
No, listen.
Why? That's too much. And
before we go on to the next topic, J Mike also said, Cole got Crit and K Dot. Well,
and KDZ.
I don't know, but hey, that's what the verses is for.
People forget that Kendrick executively produced that whole Black Panther soundtrack album, dog. And that shit fire, dude.
He did. All the stars are rose. That's my shit, though.
Can't sing damn though. Don't sing that.
Don't do that.
I'll beat your ass after this damn show over, though. Anyways,
hey, come on.
WAP. That's that Gucci. What we know about that WAP? Yeah. So okay, let's talk about, of course, this song / video this is the song that actually broke the internet. Besides this Kanye and Drake versus that
could
definitely
how your transitions have fallen off.
They're getting better. They're getting
worse.
They're getting better.
Hey, I know when Max Kellerman would talk about that cliff with Tom Brady. That's that shit right there. It just
all right. Trying to do the show, guys. Trying to do the show. Thank you. All right. Anyways, like I said, how do you guys feel about the song? I'm
gonna make a song called FAD. Stands for Fat Ass Dick. How about that? That's all I got to say.
I know he's gonna say something crazy like that.
Nah, but real
Why?
shit.
Why?
Shit.
Wow.
This nigga's stupid as fuck. I swear to God, dude.
Explain your song. Go ahead, explain your song, Napro.
Please.
Yeah, give us the hook.
It's
Give us
about
the hook.
male empowerment.
Male
You know,
empowerment.
We get looked at, all the time. Females talking about how we take dick pics and stuff. Nah, I'm just kidding. But seriously,
Wow. This
but
man
seriously,
is wild.
Yes, Mariah. I know.
WAP, WAP. What's this stand for? Wet ass.
No,
pussy?
it's wet and gushy apparently on the radio.
What's the WAP? Not the radio guy. Is WAP is the real shit, not the radio shit.
Wet ass pussy.
Right. Okay. So this is supposed to be about female empowerment and the movement, things of the sort, which is fine. I understand that. I understand where Cardi's coming from. I understand where Megan's coming from. My whole problem is really with the industry and the making of not necessarily the content, but yes, the content. I guess the content all around visually and lyrically. I feel like, if you want to do that, okay, that's fine. But just as much as we continue to talk about rappers doing this, rappers doing that, but nobody wants to change. We keep talking about people doing this and people doing that, but nobody actually wants to sit down and do the changing. We just want to keep on doing what we're doing and making excuses for it, but nothing's changing. So if we're not going to change doing what we're doing, then how are we going to change the rest of what's going on? And if you feel like the best way to do that right now is putting more ass into people's faces, then okay, let's continue to over-sexualize the nation. Let's continue to over-sexualize the youth that are looking up at these women who, yes, okay, the youth want to be worried about their sexual orientation, this, that, and the third, and what they got going on in the world. But isn't that kind of the problem that we're dealing with right now with, the world kind of being in shambles and people being manipulated to a certain degree and not really having a full understanding of actually what to do, how to handle certain situations and what's going on? Or am I just a crazy ass motherfucker?
I mean,
You're
I would say
crazy.
definitely you're crazy. But
All the above.
I feel like you kind of overthinking it, and what I mean by that is, let's be real, Nap. I mean, we about to be, in another decade soon, to where we've listened to other songs and when we were 14, 15, 16 years old.
I'm not opposed from songs about sexual orientation, sexual acts, whatever the case may be, throwing ass, throwing dick, throwing pussy, whatever it is. I don't really give a fuck. To be honest.
Throwing dick.
Hey, I don't know what niggas are throwing dick these days. Anything can happen. It's 2020.
All right. Anyways, let me finish what I had to say before you cut me off. So what I'm getting at is, let's be real. Ever since pretty much after the 90s, they have pretty much changed rap and hip hop into pretty much not being as positive and more a lot more negative in certain things. And let's be real. That's how America is able to make their money off of the ignorance of rap music and over sexualization of women, and also like I said, men being in certain positions or whatnot. So with situations like this, we all know women, women are able to get a lot of things because of their bodies, and with them it seems like with Cardi and Megan, it seems like they've been able to use the industry and their way to be able to make their money and do what they got to do because they know what they bring to the table.
Right.
It's kind of I know you make your face over the ish, but I kind of see it as like an athlete. If you're coming to a negotiation table and whatnot, and you're trying to get a bigger deal or whatnot, and you know what you bring to the table, you're trying to say, hey, I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. From what I see with Cardi and Megan, it seems like they're trying to take a lot more power. They're trying to take that power that they know that they have and trying to use it as much as they possibly can because they've seen the female rappers before them do the exact same thing, but not get compensated or not be able to do the right things with the money that they were able to get, like a Trina, like a Little Kim,
What does
like
that have to do with the song? What does that have to do with the song? I respect them as people. I respect them as artists. As a matter of fact, that's why I fuck with Cardi. That's why I fuck with Megan, because we understand where they come from. We understand that type of music. It's not like we not sitting here listening to Gucci and shit. Niggas talk about shooting shit up all the time. I'm not talking about how you get your bag, get your fucking bag, and get the fuck on. Now, could they have made a different song, a better song for the message that they was trying to do? I feel as though yes, but do what you do. I'm not judging nobody.
See, but you can't say that. You can't say that. And
I agree. You can't
say that right after you just said, like, could they have made a different song, and a more positive song or whatever? See, the problem with this whole conversation for me is, it's not like they're doing something that hasn't been done before. There are a lot of women rappers that have come out and had songs provocative as well. There are also a lot of men who their songs are about, provocative, like basically taking advantage of women and talking about women and stuff like that. And it's like they don't face this kind of criticism. People aren't having conversations like, oh, could they have made this a better song? Could they have made this message better? Like, we're not.
I mean, we were listening to Yin Yang Twins talk about skeeting on girls. Like, come on now.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's so hypocritical for us to look at this song, and now this song is being put on a pedestal.
Nobody is saying that. I'm not saying that, and I don't believe that's what people are saying. But since it has to be a topic of conversation, okay, now it's that impactful. If it ain't fun if the homies ain't got none when that shit came out, if it was that impactful at the time, but because of how our culture was, it was accepting of that. Oh yeah, let's get girls, pass them around, treat them like that. That type of shit is still going on. So yeah, it's not acceptable. I don't accept it. They should have made a better song. But just like girls gonna go jam the WAP, niggas gonna go jam to that. Niggas gonna jam the Yin Yang Twins. It is what it is. Niggas been doing this shit. I'm not saying I'm against it, but at the end of the day, is any of that shit helping? Is that shit helping? No. It's not hypocritical for me to say make a better song at all.
But this is what I think. Hold on.
Not to criticize it's hypocritical for us not to criticize music. It is because we don't have this conversation when there are other songs that come out where men are saying stuff about women. We're not having the same conversations. But then when they put this video out, they put this song out. Okay, we should, but we don't, and that's the problem. The problem is we are not being consistent. We don't want to be consistent. When women do something, then everybody want to jump on and be like, "Oh my gosh,
we don't control the media.
They should cover themselves." But then when it's like men talking about it, everybody like, "Oh yeah, that's just the homies talking about it or whatever." Like, dude, let's be consistent. Let's hold ourselves accountable.
It's the double standard. It's the double standard.
You have to ask who you're asking to hold themselves accountable, because you're talking to the general masses. Me making that statement, I'm making that statement as a person that holds myself fully accountable for calling those motherfuckers out too. I'm not about to sit here and be like, hey, Uncle Snoop, you bullshitting with that track, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he knows what's going on. I don't have to have that conversation 1,000 times with y'all if we've already had the conversation. If we have a conversation about WAP, hey, we don't need to have a conversation 1,000 times. It is what it is, and then you move on and you try to better the situation. You know what I mean? I'm not at any means saying like, oh, that shit is okay. Now, the general masses, because of how we're manipulated into thinking, males run the world, women are sexual felines, all that imagery going on, then okay, maybe you have something different going on. But as far as that, I'm definitely with you on the hypocritical aspect of making sure that everybody's held accountable for that type of shit, because it's still going on to this day. Niggas is still making songs about, I don't know about beating up girls, but abusing girls sexually, abusing girls mentally, abusing girls however the case may be. And it's just like, oh, it's another hot track from so and so, blah blah blah. But the one track one females do, it's a big thing, blah, blah, blah. I get that. everybody needs to make better fucking music and stop making this fucking trash that's going on and make some shit that's actually gonna help the conscious community, help the people in general.
All right. Now, the question I have for you, Nap, and we talk about this all the time when it comes to police or it comes to any other system that is involved, like
I'll make an ass shaking song.
Like military as well. But this is what I'm getting at. If we already know that the system is the way that it is when it comes to music, because it seems like with hip hop, they are not going to have conscious rap. Nap, you have to go find it. They're not. This is not the '90s anymore. They're not playing the Fugees anymore. I'm just okay. So with that being said, unfortunately, this is what mainstream rap is. It is what it is. It's up to you as parents, Ish and Brett and whoever else decides to be parents, to control what your kids listen to and what they intake. Because as a 7-year-old girl, I don't think that I would want my daughter listening to that.
What's the question? So they need to make better music? Or what's the question?
Well, again, it's not about making better music. It's about who that person is, rap lyrics wise. Where can their work be found? Because a lot of the better rappers, you cannot find them mainstream wise. What's up, Greg?
I have a question for all of y'all, right? And I really want Brett and Ish's input on this because you guys are parents. How do you control your child and what they listen to? Because at the end of the day, they got to go to school, right? So they're going to listen to the shit at school. So how do you, like, I'm trying to wrap my brain around this because there's been a topic for a while now. How do you control your child and what they listen to? I don't understand that. How can you do that?
I guess I'll start because that's more my area compared to Ish's for now. But so for us, right, we allow him to make playlists, but it all starts with what you listen to. Honestly, like if you're listening to all those types of songs, you can't get upset for him or her to listen to the same type of stuff. That's being a hypocrite. No, that's being a hypocrite. Because if you're listening to all those things and then you tell them they can't, and then they hear you listen to those things, now they're like, well, why can't I listen to that?
Well, the adult answer is because I'm an adult and you're a child. That's usually the answer that I would get. So
you're right. That is the normal answer, but is that the correct answer? No.
I mean, that's like a kid saying I want to drive because I see you driving.
Nah, so
but I got you though, Brett. I mean, keep going.
I don't think Brett's answering the heart of what Greg's question is.
Yeah, he's not.
But go ahead.
What a surprise.
I was about to get into more of that, but that was just my first point. But if you want to expand a little bit more, Ishmael, you can first, and then I'll come back on.
Well, so I was just saying, like, the heart of his question is, how do you 100% control what your kids consume, right?
You can.
And there's no way to 100% control what your kids consume because, like you said, they got to go to school, they got to have friends. I don't control what your friends are watching, what your friends' parents allow them to watch, allow them to consume. So there's no way I can 100% control what you're watching, right? Unless I'm with you all the time and I'm just going to be right over your shoulder, constantly knocking the phone out of your hand, or you don't have any friends, which isn't realistic. So really what it comes down to is kind of like what Brett was saying. It starts with what you are doing in your house and what you're watching, what you're consuming. But it also goes with like the lessons that you teach your kids and the values you teach them. And you just have to trust that your kids are going to make the right decisions when they go out into public. Like at the end of the day, that's all parenting is like, I'm going to teach you the values that I want to uphold. I'm going to teach you the kind of things that I want to consume, the life that I want to live. And then when you go out, I'm going to have to trust that everything that I taught you, you're going to carry that out into the world and you're going to continue to, live by that life. Whether or not you do that, that's up to you. All of us probably have our own stories where we can say like, my parents taught me this in the house, but, I went and I did something totally different. That's part of being kids. That's part of growing up. That's part of having your own experiences. So it's just going to be a thing of like, at the end of the day, maybe your kid gets exposed to this video, but because of what you have taught them and what you consume in your house, they don't actually watch it. They see it or they see somebody watching and they just walk away from it. They're like, it's not for me. And you know what? Hey, that's not for your kid. Or your kid, because you watching that stuff, sees it and they start consuming it, and then there you go. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was getting at. So like with ours, so he listens when he's around me, it's all Christian rap and worship. So that's all. But when he's around my wife listens to different types of music and stuff like that. But we don't. For the most part, he knows like what is acceptable and what's not. So like we don't let him listen to anything with cussing in it. No YouTube with bad words, anything like that. Nothing inappropriate. But let's say we went to the pool the other day and there was that song that was it's called Murder on My Mind. I don't know who was by whatever. But
I got murder on my mind.
That one. He had never he was like, Dad, what's murder? Right? And so then we had to have that conversation. Because he had never heard that before, which, at 8 at the time, you don't necessarily talk about like murder and stuff like that, but it's a conversation we had to have at the time. And which is just like, in general, the kids are going to get exposed to everything anyway. It's just a matter of when they get exposed to it. And what Ishmael was saying, you just hope that the things that you've taught them, before they get exposed to it, helps them further in the decision-making process once they do get exposed to it to make the right decisions. Because when we explained to him what murder was, he was like, well, Dad, why would anybody do that? That's the response that you would kind of hope for. Not that, oh, that sounds cool, I want to do that. That's what you would. Extreme example. But what I'm saying is that like that's what you want as a parent, is for a kid, to have those morals and those values to say, oh, like why would somebody want to hurt somebody else?
All right, let's get in with these comments right quick before we go on to the next topic. Going back to the WAP conversation, Derek says, honestly, it's for the women. Ain't even for us. Shouldn't be talking
Freedom
about
of
it
speech,
anyways.
talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about.
My boy Randy says it's a boys will be boys standard, isn't it? I mean, kind of, pretty much. I mean, I think we're getting away from that whole boys will be boys thing generation. Derek again, he says you got female rappers who make conscious music already. People don't support it, like we talked about before. They do have it, but it's in different places. My boy Lorenzo Guy, he says my parents taught me to have my ass in the house when the street lights come on. This is true.
Mine did too.
This is true. Yeah. Mariah Graham also, she says you can't 100% control what your children get exposed to, but you can take advantage of the teaching moments.
And no matter how much parenting you do, let's all be real. Children ain't gonna listen to you 100%,
especially your ass. Anyway,
guaranteed.
Randy again, he said that's exactly right. All you can do is try to instill your values in your kids and hope it takes. Unfortunately, kids just don't learn what you will teach them. This is true.
They learn from their friends.
And also, shout out to Lorenzo again. He said, these boys still in touch. That's a real friendship. You know it is, Playboy. You know it is. All right, so let's get on to the next topic.
His dress got long.
Greg, oh yeah.
That
boy out there, hey, esports. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out esports.
Check out his Twitch page.
Yes, sir. Check out that Twitch page. Hey, Lorenzo, go ahead and put that Twitch page in the comment section so we go ahead and shout you out.
Hey, y'all remember we used to have the segment of the day?
Yes, we hey, no, hold on. Let's go ahead and talk about that right quick since we got a couple of free time. Lorenzo, guy, I want to be the first one to say this personally to you. You my guy, man. And I apologize personally for having that. What the hell were you wearing in high school segment back in the day? It was not meant to get on you. It was just we were kids. The whole kids thing. I apologize. I'm gonna be the first one to say I apologize. And when I see you again in person, I will apologize again. But we appreciate you out there doing your thing. Greg back in the mix again, and shout out to Lorenzo guys. Twitch. Twitch.tv/Kylo Renz.
Go check it out.
That niggas was definitely complicit in that morning breakfast table.
Oh yeah.
You know who
I was not complicit.
All right,
My
so
mom was good.
next topic, a very difficult one to talk about, but we have to talk about it. Amber Guyger's lawyer filed an appeal asking for a lesser charge. Now, if you don't know the backstory, of course, with Amber Guyger, she was the Dallas police officer that apparently walked into the wrong apartment complex and ended up shooting an unarmed black man. Um, Unfortunately, that unarmed black man was somebody close to Ishmael Sirion. So we're going to give the floor to Ishmael so he can speak a little bit more about it, and we'll caveat after what Ish has to say.
I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it. I don't feel like, I mean, I don't feel like in order to forgive somebody, that means that they don't face punishment. I think that she should have got more than what she got. Honestly, she should have got a year for every year that man lived. But the system that we have in place did not do what it's supposed to do. And I think it's funny that she has decided that she wants to appeal. Um, if I'm being emotional, I would say that that is a slap in the face. Um, it's just, I mean, there aren't even really words to describe. Just like the feeling of seeing that and thinking like, dude, you know what you did, and yet you're gonna still do this. But if I'm being logical, we all expected it. We all knew it was coming. Um, you could see from the very beginning in the trial some of the things her team was trying to do to make it seem like, you know, she wasn't murder wasn't the right charge for her. She should have faced a lesser charge. They tried that all throughout the trial. So, like I said, it's not a shock. Anybody who followed the trial, followed the situation, they know, and they probably could have guessed this was going to happen. Um, I I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the system, so I wouldn't be surprised by anything that comes out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a new trial and if they give her a lesser charge. It would not surprise me at all. Um, I just don't. There are certain things about that case that I can't get past. That I just don't think you can even explain. The fact that there is a red mat in front of the door. I don't care what you want to say about apartments looking the same, so on and so forth. Like that is something you can't work past. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how distracted you are. That's something you can't work past. But whatever, she's gonna do her thing. I'm gonna try my best not to even follow it. I don't want to have to relive that whole situation again. Um, I I feel for his family, the fact that they have to relive this situation again, because she is in denial. But it is what it is, man.
And like I said before, we do apologize for having to bring this up again. But, like I said, it was back in the news again. And like you said, if people were following the trial, you kind of already knew that she was planning on going to appeal when everything kind of died down. And it's not a surprise. I think the surprise will be, like it said, again, depending on who you are, it would be surprising if she does get granted the appeal. But to some people, like Ish, it won't be a surprise. So I guess we just have to wait and see how the legal system, the good old justice system plays out, and we'll go from there. Anybody else have anything to say before we move on to the next topic? All right. Well, I'll say as well, prayers to their family and whatnot, and everybody that's involved. And it's like I said, just an unfortunate situation. Another unfortunate situation, Johnathan Isaac. If you do not know who this person is, he is a NBA basketball player that plays for the Magic. And if you've been checking out the NBA restart, you've pretty much seen a lot of the NBA players deciding to take a knee, except for certain people because of whatever reasons. Johnathan Isaac felt like, he didn't need to take a knee because he wanted to show people a different way how to go about this whole situation about Black Lives Matter and just making a change. Well, apparently 5 about 5 minutes into the game after he decided to stand, he tore his ACL during the game. Now, one thing, if you check out my show, The Sports Plug, or if you know, of course, our backgrounds, we've all played sports, and we definitely don't clown on injuries, and we do not talk down on people when it comes to injuries, because that's just bad. That's bad juju, and that's one thing we don't talk about. That's one thing we don't kid around about. But let's have you guys thought process on what happened. Was this the African guys, Ishmael, coming back? I saw it on Twitter. I saw that on social media. Saw people talking about that, or was this just a coinky dink?
This man said the African guy.
Hey, I saw it. I'm telling you, I saw
like that's like the African.
The African guy. They said.
Nah, nigga, I ain't fucking with that. I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm not. I cannot. I can't.
No.
Anybody? No.
Nah, it was just unfortunate. It was just an unfortunate situation. That's all it was. It had no coincidence to the fact that he chose to stand, and the people who are saying good for he deserved it, that kind of stuff. I mean, you got to be sick. You gotta be sick. You gotta be sick to wish that kind of stuff on somebody, just because they don't share the same opinion that you do. And it's not even that he doesn't necessarily share the same opinion that you do, just because he chose, to stand. Now, if we want to have a discussion about why he chose to stand, that's a whole nother discussion. Which his response or his answer for why he chose to stand didn't make any sense whatsoever. He was trying to talk about God, but I don't know how he was looping all that in. Man was confused. But as far as his injury goes, dude, it is just unfortunate. Prayers for his recovery. It's just sad, man. It's sad to see somebody get hurt. And, torn ACL, that is not an easy thing to recover from. So
that's the last thing you want to.
Yeah, you don't want that. Well, that and Achilles. You want that Achilles.
And Achilles, boy.
Yeah. Just to go back to what we talked about before, Lorenzo Guy said, "Fam, this is America. I hate it, but the world is attempting to desensitize people over this situation. Not just the situation, about a lot of things, sex, and that's this, that, and the third. That might be another topic for another day." Shout out to Chad Bogues. He said THL deep because we are. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now let's go ahead and switch off to our another topic. The biggest news of the day, if you've been watching sports today, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 are postponing their conference football seasons. Those are the biggest conferences right now postponing their seasons. Another conference that postponed their season today as well is the Mountain West Conference. Out of the Power 5 conference, we only have 3 conferences left. As of right now, how do you guys, especially Brett and Ish, that has played, high-level D1 football and whatnot, how do you guys feel about what's going on right now?
How do I feel about it? I don't think that. I think any school that is having in-person classes should not be canceling any of their sports or postponing it or anything like that. I think I saw a quote from Nick Saban that was saying like he didn't care about that player safety type stuff. Dude, that's
the quote was he was saying he doesn't care about the whole player safety thing because they were saying that people act like you can only get on a football field when you can go into a bar, you can go into a restaurant, you can go to a store and get it. Let's not act like we have to bubble wrap everything. But like they're saying, Dabo Swinney, a lot of college coaches are saying, these facilities are the cleanest, it's ever going to be. If they go back home, they might get sick. And don't get me wrong, I think they are correct. They really are.
And that's what I was just about to say.
But it's not up to Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney and whoever else that think they running things. It's up to the presidents of the universities that have to make the decision on if they want to play or not.
Except that's why I prefaced it and I said any school that's having in-person classes should not be postponing any of that stuff. The reason being because if you're going to send them into a classroom what difference does it make for them to go out on a field and run around? Like, you're going to put them in a classroom that's in a closed, confined space where they're going to be like, 20, 30 people, depending on where you're at. Probably a lot more at these larger universities. You want to put a bunch of people in a classroom, and you telling me that you feel comfortable with that, but you don't feel comfortable with people being outside running around? How does that make sense to anybody?
This whole damn COVID situation haven't made sense to anybody.
I mean, it's the same thing as the NFL saying that they can play the game but not exchange jerseys.
Yeah, I agree with that. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend the whole game tackling you, then I can't change.
Yeah,
I can't
that's
share a
dumb.
jersey with you.
That's stupid.
But I mean, you can go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I go.
Somebody go.
What I was about to say is that it's I don't know. It's also going to be weird that like some have postponed it and some haven't. So like, if you're talking about like bowl games and national championships, like if one conference has postponed it, then how can the other teams
Yo,
go?
I'm actually excited about that because I like chaos and I want teams to switch conferences. I saw the conversation started and I want to make it happen. Colorado, go ahead and come back to the Big 12. Nebraska, the Big 12 is waiting for you.
No, don't you say Ohio State to the SEC either. No. 'Cause I saw that earlier too today. Greg McElroy, shut your ass up. Everybody that want the damn conference realignment shit, shut your ass up because they're not going to pay no $50 million buyout to go to another conference for 1 year. They're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it.
What the hell are they going to do then?
Dude,
I will say this.
Go ahead, Brett.
This is the best chance that the team up north has had in a long time to beat Ohio State.
Why?
Because they ain't got to play them. You done?
Yeah,
you done? He's trying to make fun of my team. Anyway, next.
They still won't lose even not playing.
I know. I said the best chance, Ishmael. I said the best chance. I didn't say they were gonna win.
No, but I'm not buying the Ohio State to SEC thing because the storied programs who have rivalries built within their conference, so like Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, those type of rivalries, you're not going to break those rivalries up for 1 year of football, right? But that's why I'm saying teams like Colorado, who you don't have serious rivals in the Pac-12, go ahead and come back to the Big 12. Nebraska, go ahead and come back to the Big 12. I mean, there are some of those schools that really you have nothing to lose leaving some of these conferences other than, you still going to be mad that UT has the network and you don't. But
okay.
Whatever.
Now, the question I have is, say if we do that, remember, this is not the NBA to where they have everybody confined in a bubble. You still have to travel. You still have to go from Nebraska. What happens if somebody picks something up on an airplane or something like that? What happens if somebody picks something up at the airport?
What happens if somebody picks something up in the class?
Well, again, that's what I'm about to get to. I think this is the beginning of the other conferences going to say sooner or later we're gonna have to shut it down too. If the SEC does it, then that's a wrap. But
no, they're not. They want to play. SEC wants to play, and ACC wants to play. They just want Big 12 to stay with them and play. And I will hope the Big 12 stays with them to play, not because I'm dying for football this fall, but because I want to see the drama. I want them to go try to poach players from the other schools. I want them to go say like, "Hey, we're playing football. You're a fifth-year guy. You can transfer without penalty. Come to our school and play football."
You about to see a lot of sloppy ass football. No, that's bullshit. You about to see a lot of sloppy ass football. So you're telling me you want a guy to come in only seeing the playbook for a week and then all of a sudden get on the field and college kids. Come on now.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're going to see sloppy ass football regardless.
You're horrible. No, you're not. Not in pros. Not in pro football.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. You remember what we were talking about with the NCAA game, video game coming back and them paying college players? I have the same mentality right now. I don't care. I just want it. All right? That's it.
I
So,
will
Brent?
say this though, it sucks for all the players that were like finally getting their looks. You know, they're finally gonna get their opportunity to actually, get looked at by the scouts. That shit is over with. So shout out to them.
It is, but it is not.
It's not.
Remember it. Just because it is postponed, if they do go into the spring, I
No,
would
it's
not be
over with.
surprised. No, they said they postponed this until the spring. So, like I said, if they do
So they
end up
postponing
playing
the
in the
draft?
spring, from what I'm reading, they might have to
Yeah,
postpone the
yeah,
draft. Yes, the
yeah.
NFL will have to. I'm letting you know. Why are you making faces? Everything's gonna have to get shifted back if college have to play in the spring. So again,
Okay, but if three conferences play and two or three don't, are you still shifting the draft back?
2 drafts.
you might have to, and that's okay.
No,
Everything else this whole year has gotten shifted back. The NBA fucking stopped playing for 4 months and all of a sudden picked back up in goddamn September or August.
Right.
Like, come on now.
Okay, I understand that, but the NFL is, as of right now, they're not trying to delay their schedule. So what makes you think they're going to delay the draft for 2 conferences or 3 conferences?
Again, it all depends on how everything plays out with college football. We have to wait and
I
see.
also-
And we have a couple more weeks left. We're going to wait and see, and then we're going to wait and see after that. We're not in charge. I'm just reporting on shit.
I just want the
I
chaos.
also think though is that it's off season for NFL, so that doesn't. I think they'd be more willing to shift things back. Now they're
Not
actually
necessarily, because you got mini camps, you got rookie
But-
camps. There are
What
a
I'm
lot of
saying,
things that.
though,
Okay, but a lot of that shit about to get canceled anyway. Cause look at the
Yeah.
preseason games. No, football used to be 4. They talking about we want to go ahead and have 2 games. It went to completely 0. All right, go ahead and start the season.
yeah,
Like, you telling me they're not going to shorten that shit? They're not going to shorten training camp. They're not going to shorten certain things to where you can be able. Because let's be real, these athletes are ready 24/7. These are not athletes of the 70s and the 80s to where they only coming in. They come in and play football, and then all of a sudden they go and work in the steel mill in Pittsburgh and whatnot. Like these.
Okay, but let me say this. It depends on how the rookies perform this year, because if the rookies get out there this year and they look like complete garbage, then everybody's going to point to the fact that they didn't get any rookie mini camp. They didn't get any team organized activities until late. Most of that stuff was virtual. So then if you're talking about pushing the draft back, pushing all that stuff back, or not even having it again next year, you're going to have the same situation where you're going to put bad product. You were just talking about, oh, you want to see a bunch of sloppy football? That's going to be sloppy football right there, because you're going to have a bunch of people who think about people who are traded and learning new free agents. I mean, drafts. There's a lot of things that go into that they need that time to get in the playbook, get out there, get some reps with their new teams and stuff. Like, dude.
Oh, but you want somebody to come from Colorado and join a team and just go ahead. You double standard ass boy. Anyways, back to Lorenzo guy. Back to Lorenzo guy. He said you can't confine a football team. Offensive, defense alone is easily 40 players, including kickers, coaches, and other staff. Imagine with 2 teams, COVID will spread. He says I don't see how to safely get the football season done. Basketball just have less personnel.
I mean, I agree with that. And that's
It's about to be fun.
It's gonna be very, very fun. And guess what? We're all done playing. Well, Brett's still playing. Brett's still playing, but we're all done. So it looks like we dodged that bullet.
No, I mean, I think if the players don't feel comfortable, they shouldn't play.
Yeah.
Now that's easier. It's easy for me to say that because I've already had my scholarship and got my degree and everything. So
Right.
Yeah, it's easy for you
I
to
can
say
say
there.
that easily. But for the people who, that's paying for your school, I can see how that puts you in this situation where you can't just necessarily say, I don't feel comfortable because of COVID, so I'm not going to play. But I think that they should come together if they don't feel comfortable playing and say they don't want to play. But if they want to play, then let them play. And if COVID spreads. I think you have the same chance of catching COVID on the football field that you do in the classroom, if not a smaller percentage.
All right, look. Let me finish this up because I need a spotlight on me real quick because I don't think y'all not listening. Y'all not listening.
I'm not.
Y'all were college players. Let's remember, you were not professional football players to where you were getting paid for your services. Correct.
I mean,
So
I mean,
let me explain. Let me explain.
Brett got
So
paid.
with that being said, if you end up dying on their watch, if you get COVID, who do you think is going to have to, unfortunately, be responsible for your death? It's not going to be you because you're going to be dead. It's going to be the president of that school that say, you know what, let's go ahead and play football because it's worth it to make a couple extra dollars. That is what the presidents and the guys that are up top are trying to contemplate on. Can we have a football season or not? This is going far. This is more than just money or we want to play because a little hashtag they put on Twitter. Fuck the hashtags. If Trevor Lawrence dies because y'all want to play so bad, I promise you they shutting this shit down real quick.
Shutting what down?
They're shutting the college season.
College football will continue.
Shit.
To be college football.
Shit. Let Trevor Lawrence let sunshine down the damn field because he got COVID. I promise you, they shutting football down.
God forbid. But
God forbid, you're right. I'm just saying.
They would still go on as if nothing happened. It is a business that they want. The whole reason why we're having this conversation is because it's a business and they want their money.
Again, y'all not listening. Y'all not listening. This is amateur sports compared to what Jeff Green wants to say as well. Let me read what Jeff says. The MLB season aren't slowing down their season right now and canceling games because of COVID is escalating on certain teams. Yes, they are canceling games. And they also still trying to figure out how they're going to be able to continue their season because certain teams are shut down because they've had too many COVID cases on their team. And also, let's remember, guys, you cannot compare MLB, NFL, NBA to college because these guys are getting paid compared to college people. They're not getting paid. Go, Greg.
Go ahead.
X, I just want to let you know it's okay for other people to have difference of opinion. So just letting you know.
Yeah, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Thank you.
I just want to throw that out there because you're yelling and stuff. You sound very emotional. So
no, you're just not listening. That's the thing. So, and you're the last one to talk about somebody being emotional. Keep going, though, Greg.
Okay, that's on you right now, my nigga. Don't worry about
it. All right, being emotional looking at it. All right.
You're getting yelling.
Okay. I just think that let's say that Trevor Lawrence gets COVID, right? And if we're talking about a product on the field, I know he can get hurt, during the season or whatever. But if he gets COVID on the field, and then now you have to because the CDC.
How do you know he got it on the field?
But
exactly.
I'm not saying on the field. I'm saying if he gets COVID.
How do you know he didn't get it in the classroom?
He could have gotten
it in college. You know that, right? They be partying in college.
He could get it in the classroom. He can get it at the store. He can get it at the club. All those places. He can get it at the library for all I care, right? But let's say he gets it. Right, he has to quarantine for 14 days. That's
once they figure out that he has it.
So what?
And by that time, it could have already spread to the whole team.
Exactly. So
until everybody he has classes with.
Exactly. So then, I think if they have a football season, if they try, everything's gonna get shut down anyway. Personally, because it's not like somebody's not gonna get it at some point in time on one of the teams. They're all practicing together. Once they start playing, it's just going to be a big mess. It's like it is for baseball.
College kids.
We just gonna have to wait and see, guys. And honestly, y'all keep thinking that it's gonna be a regular college year. I don't think there's gonna be too many. I don't think there's gonna be too many college parties.
I don't think it's gonna be a regular.
No, this is what I'm saying. No. Greg was talking about people going to party. I don't think it's gonna be too many parties going on this year and whatever college school you go.
Because they didn't go to
again.
The beach.
Let me explain.
He's gonna
this season, yeah, they're gonna get tracked all day, every day to make sure that they are where they need to be. Besides like they already are now, they're going to be tracked even more to make sure that they don't get sick. That's all I'm getting at. That's all.
I could swear they were up at the beach after they closed it.
All right. Anyways, Chad says, hey, y'all stop giving Trevor COVID. He already hurting from the national championships. Good old Tigers. Good old.
Read the other comment. You agreed with me. Read the other comment.
He said, they partying for sure.
Fuck out here, nigga. Read the other comment. Don't speak over that.
All right. Anyways, speaking of college, of course, post-graduation struggles. What are some struggles We all been out of college for a little bit now. What are some struggles that you would like to talk about to the people, and also for the people that's listening in, comment and let us know what are some of your struggles that you had to deal with after graduation of college. Go, G.
Everybody don't speak your voice.
My journey is a little bit different. So I went to school for marketing. Don't work any type of marketing job right now, which is kind of good and bad. I think it's more so pros to it because a lot of this shit is going on out here. Everything's just going to the web and stuff like that. So I didn't actually get a real job. I graduated in May of 2015. I didn't really get a real job until November. So I just want everybody out there to know that this whole ideology of that, okay, I have a degree, so I'm gonna get this high paying job off the bat. That doesn't really work for everybody. And I feel like a lot of college kids need to realize that, because you going into this trying to think that you have this magical job set up lined up for you after college, and sometimes you got to grind for a little bit. You got to have some other stuff going until this job that you're looking for comes to you. So for me, it was a weird situation. It was on my fault because I didn't do any internships. I didn't do none of that. And then I've kind of figured out that I didn't want to do marketing after I got my degree. Kind of weird how that works, but I'm kind of doing it right now, doing this podcast with you guys. Shout out to y'all guys. But at the end of the day, I just want everybody to know, for the people, for the college kids that are out there that may be watching, fans of the show, make sure that you staying humble, because anything can happen. You have to be prepared for that. I wasn't, but I was able to bounce back. But reality hit me, and it fucking sucked for a little bit. So.
All right. Anybody else?
I mean, I was just gonna say, make sure that I'm speaking for the next generation, is to make sure you are doing internships.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you are networking, because if you're not, then you're not setting yourself up for success. But I will say, for us, right? For us, that's something that we need to teach our kids, because I'm not saying that this generation won't listen, but you never know, fully, if they'll listen to us or not, because we're not necessarily where they want to be at, right? So, if we were CEOs and stuff like that, then maybe they listen, but just like the normal working class, not all the time the people under you will listen. But what I will say is that we just have to make sure that like our kids specifically are doing internships, are going to networking opportunities and stuff like that, because of the exact same reason that Gray was talking about. Like, those opportunities just don't show up all the time unless you know somebody, which is probably have happened through a networking opportunity. I mean, you might meet somebody at a restaurant, as a waiter, whatever they give you your card, you never know, but that's not normally how it works. And so all the internships that you can get, especially in college, I mean, even in high school, if you can, it's all going to set you up for the future. And that's something that I know I didn't do. And honestly, I was banking on football, and that didn't necessarily work out the way I wanted to. Like, I still got places I didn't think that I wasn't thinking about, but with football. But at the end of the day, I could have done personally a lot more on the networking side before I got out of college to set me up for even bigger things than what I'm trying to do now. So if you can, while you're out there, intern, network as much as you can, because it's all about who you know. It's not about what you know. People say what they want on resumes and all that stuff, but if you know the CEO, he'll bypass a resume. You know what I'm saying? So,
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
What about you, Ish?
Years.
What about you, Ish? You got something for us?
In my village, they say,
Really?
This nigga's dope.
he who learns teaches.
yes, sir. That's a good African proverb.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was more to it.
No.
Can you run it back one more time for the people that missed it?
He who learns teaches.
Now, where did they say this at?
In my village.
He said in his village.
I'm saying it for the people that missed it. Okay, just making sure.
I think that we should do the African segment of the day.
We might have to incorporate something like that. We might have
Yeah,
to
pop up the show.
we might have to do a little something like that. Now, I'll give my little tidbit. Now, I have not graduated college. I have not, but I took a little detour, went to the military with my boy Napro and whatnot. We did a little thing in the military. So I'll give you my post-military struggles and whatnot. I got out of military around 26 years old, and at the time I was still chasing my football dreams. Brett was pretty established in his football career at the time, so I was trying to get to his level and just trying to hurry up and play in a league ASAP just due to my age. I was 26, so of course an athlete term means I'm over the hill, I'm getting pretty old, and my better years behind me. So I ended up meeting back up with our high school football trainer that trained Brett Ish and Napoleon, Vince Gilreath back in the day. He got me back where I needed to be to try out for Arizona Rattlers. Went to Arizona, played there and whatnot, and then I went to Georgia, played there and whatnot, and came back to Houston and pretty much was done with the arena scene. And just for somebody like I said, for myself that wanted to keep on playing football, I just did everything that I needed to do to try to make sure that I was able to keep the dream alive, working 2 or 3 jobs at the time, and just being able to time management, making sure the time management worked as much as it possibly can for me to be able to incorporate football in my life, from the workouts to, of course, how much things were going to cost, to the travel, all that stuff. So what I did, like I said, I went off and followed my dreams. I was happy with what I did, and now it's time to get back and be a grown adult again, and get this. I'm about to get back into school. Get this degree, and in another couple of episodes, we might have this graduation episode or something like that. So that's the plan. It is what it is. It's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. With college, you can always go back and finish. So, I'm not done. We about to finish it up, and we about to get it in.
Real quick though, on a serious note, we are talking a lot about college. Just so for those of you who are watching or listening, if you are in high school or you are in the middle of going to college is not the only answer. Depending on what you want to do in your life, you may not need a degree for that. I know that we have been taught that you must have a degree. College is the ultimate goal. But when you actually go to school and you get out of school and you start looking for a job, especially in certain careers, you find that you don't necessarily need a degree to make it in certain careers. So I do want to encourage us to get out of this mindset of forcing our kids and telling them they have to go to college to be successful, because you don't. You can go to a trade school. You can do a lot of other things. You can get experience in certain fields, internships, networking, like the guys were saying. Networking is very important. Network as much as you can. I would say whatever job you're able to get as you're growing up, don't take it lightly. You are pretty much interviewing every time you meet somebody, because you never know when you might need to call that person up and ask them for a favor, ask them to put you in contact with somebody, ask them to give your resume to somebody. Is very important. So network, but also be mindful of what you are hoping to achieve. And I would say do the research, talk to some people, find out if you need a degree to do that, because you might not, and you might go spend a lot of money and be in debt to the government when you didn't need a degree and you didn't have to spend all that money.
No, I agree, and I'm just want to read this comment right quick from Mirage. She said, "Be mindful what you're getting a degree in. Assess what jobs will be available to you before graduation." Like Ish said, you don't want to get a degree and you don't have jobs that are available for you. You just have an unfortunate, useless degree that you paid thousands of dollars for.
But to caveat what both of y'all said, being another person who did not graduate yet, but in due time. I don't know when that time will come, but in due time.
In due time.
There's plenty of resources, free and paid for, out there for you to access that are not necessarily you having to pay $1,000 worth of money to go get an education. There's plenty of help out there. The problem is not enough people know where to go to access these resources. Same thing with knowing what you want to do and what you want to be to go to school with. You could have all those things in your head until you get there, and then you realize this isn't really what I want to do. So I think it does take a lot of the internal work within the family and the person, especially being a youth, to really sit down and think outside of the box on different aspects of, what they want to do with themselves and whatever the case may be, and look at your resources because they're out there. They may not be blatantly in front of your face and they may not necessarily be easy to find, but they are out there. And you just got to be ambitious. You got to be a go-getter. You got to want it. You got to be hungry, because if you don't want, then you're not going to get it. So,
and somebody else going to come take that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. What's up, G? Look like you got something on your mind before we get up out of here for the night.
And then also I would say, man, trust the process and be patient, man. Everything doesn't come overnight. It takes time, and you shouldn't have to rush things. If you have to rush it, it's probably not going to be for you. And don't just take any job either. If you really want something, continue to grind and wait. Some companies not going to give you the money that you're looking for. Keep on doing that, grind it until you find something that is going to make you money and it's something you want to do. Luckily for me and amongst all these other guys that's on this podcast, we endorse the THL mindsets. THL is a nonprofit organization. You want to indulge in this mindset, you hit one of us up. We'll give you the game. We'll give you the free game. We might do some favors in return. We like reciprocated energy around here, but it's your mindset. If you want to get into that, let us know. We'll definitely put you on game. Again,
we'll have the ebook. We'll have the ebook out soon, so y'all can go ahead. Y'all can go ahead and get that $5 a piece.
Let your boy if you want some links for some resources for some educational shit. Gotcha.
Bro, are you about to go do some plumbing?
Yeah, he about to do some gardening. Boy got gardening gloves on and shit. Like, what the hell you doing?
But I will say real quick to get out that
let's go.
Personally think experience is way better than education. So if you can, if you do have something that you want to do, let's say, like you want to, you want to be an engineer, right? If you can get any type of experience in engineering, even if it's the after school camps or after school programs, stuff like that, before you get into college, because all that stuff is what they're looking for anyway. You get the degree that they want, right? But you don't have that 10 years of experience that they want, then, that degree is not doing anything for you. The more experience you can get beforehand, before getting that degree, if that's what you want, the better off that you guys have. The better chance you guys have of getting that job that you want.
Makes sense. Shout out again to Lorenzo. He says, wait, it's over already. I'm here to talk shit. Well, you got to join us. Got to join us next Tuesday at 9:30 to keep on talking shit. Make sure you bring your Twitch friends as well.
Let me help you out, Lorenzo. Let me help you out. X.
Nah, don't do it.
I'm not. You just look, man. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and whatnot. I'm a good guy and whatnot. I'm trying to be nice. Anyways, no. And he said on a different note, if y'all need some lighting or mic recommendations, hit him up. And he also asks, what is THL, the Hustler League?
Non-profit organization.
Nah, it's not that.
Y'all know non-profit organization, bro.
Y'all know what it is. Don't act like y'all don't know.
Non-profit organization.
Ishmael, real quick. Ishmael, do you know of...
No, Brett. No, Ish does not know who the team is. So, like I said, we're gonna see you guys next Tuesday at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Appreciate everybody for checking out Kinfolk and Nem. And of course, at the end of the show, Brett trying to hold me, but he ain't gonna do it because I control the damn controls, baby.